This is Gemara and Shekalim Daf Yud Zayin as we head into the final stretch, the final week of Shekalim. The learning for this month of Nisan is sponsored the Nishmas Chaim Mordechai ben Naftali Tzvi by the Grun family. The Neshama should have a tremendous Aliyah Neshama from the learning of the entire Chabura. Of course, Achedim Shal ben Chaim Minav Amegel Chaim Asar Shalom Sivan Reiz Eidol Sar Bas Knendel Tvasim Chayseg Yisrael Memindol Eliezer Paris ben Shavlei Shom Bas Nabim Shavigo Shir Chana Fal Davim Nitavir Shol and Tida Nim Chan Rezel Melchai Bas Minli Bracha Bas Tavim Musa Din Eidol Ashina Mendel Sim Chatavia ben Avigal Fesh Asim ben Afiga Tiveria Necheli Spur Natateli Ahuva Menachem Mendel ben Tova Besog Shachali Yisrael, as well as Chashidach for Atalea Bas Ita and Menachem Mendel ben Elisheva. Just two announcements. Firstly, Baruch Hashem, this year keeps on growing, and it can now be found as well on Kol Halashain. So of course, it's always on Torah Anytime, which the bulk of our users find it on Baruch Hashem, where all the other shirim are, and it's on the podcast platform for those who appreciate that, and YouTube. All those, if you could hit subscribe, it just makes it that more people could see it, and Baruch Hashem, it keeps on growing. And now, B'siyata Dishmaya, we have been brought on to Kol Halashain on their platform as well. Let's pick it up from the bottom of Tazayin Amid Beis. Well, today's daf is almost going to be a hakdama of sorts into the world of Masechtas Yuma, the next Masechta, which is coming up very soon. We're going to have some nice pictures today, which will hopefully foreshadow the pictures to come as we learn Yuma. Says the Gemara, Halacha Beis, Mishnah, the bottom of Tazayin Amid Beis. Hey, Chanay Ishtachavayos. We learned in the previous Mishnah that there were 13 or 14 Ishtachavayos times that they bowed inside the Beis HaMikdash. Where were those performed? Ha'ilu, says the Gemara, Arba B'Safan, Arba B'Dar, and Shalosh B'Mizach, U'Beis B'Mayrav. 4, 3, and 2 on the different sides of the Beis HaMikdash. Kinaged, Shleishas Sha'arim, the 13 gates. This is obviously the opinion of 13. There were 13 gates. Sha'arim in the Beis HaMikdash. They bowed by each and every gate. Duraimim Smuch LaMayriv on the southern gate, closer to Mayriv, closer to the west. Shar Elyon, Shar Hadelek, Shar B'Chayris, Shar Mayim. V'lanik Shor Shar Mayim. Shabam Echnis and Sluchiyos, because that is where they brought in the flask. Shal Nisach HaMayim, the Nisach HaMayim B'Chag and Sukkot. And we'll have a nice picture depicting that in a moment. Let's first read the Mishnah. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer Hamayim Nefachim. That's where the water is going to trickle through, and that's where the stream is going to come out through the underneath of the Beis HaMikdash, which we'll see more in today's daf exactly about this miraculous stream that flowed through this gate, the Shar in the Beis HaMikdash. On the northern boundary, going westward, Shar Yechanya, Shar Karban, Shar Nashim, Shar Hashir, and Shar Hashir is also Beis HaMoikad, which was a 2-floored house, which we'll see a picture of that in a moment. So that's where Yechanya went out. Mizrach on the eastern side, Shar Nikonar, there was Shar Nikonar, Shnei Peshpushim, and there were 2 little doors, 2 little rooms, 2 doorways in Shar Nikonar, and the 2 in the west, and they did not have a name, those doors. So here we have, this is a aerial view of the Beis HaMikdash, and as you see over here, the top is 3, bottom is 4, left is 2, and right is 1. Those are the different Sha'arim. Now we'll move further and we'll see the names. The picture flipped a little bit. So now on the right side is you have the 2 Sha'arim without any names. In the smack in the middle of your picture, you have Shar Nikonar with the 2 Pishpushim, these 2 little doorways. Let's start with the top over here. You have Shar Elyon, Shar Derek, Shar B'Chayr, Shar Mayim, and on the bottom you have Shar Yechanya, Shar Karban, Shar Nashim, and Shar Hashir, which we pointed out is really Beis HaMoikad. Just to give a few more pictures before we continue, this is a fabulous depiction of the Beis HaMoikad, the Shar all the way on the left, that 2-floor house, that is the Shar Hashir, which is the Beis HaMoikad, and you see everyone going to the beautiful Beis HaMikdash over here. And this is, as we pointed out, this is the Shar Tzluches. This is where the Nisach HaMayim came through. As you see over here, this Kayin over here carrying this flask of water going through that gate into the Sukkos, into the Beis HaMikdash. Says the Gemara, Mas Nisan Abba Yusa ben Yechanan. The Mishnah is going to opinion of Abba Yusa ben Yechanan. Damar can I give you a Shalmim that says that there were 13 gates. However, Bram, Kirabanan Shiva Sharmayu, the Rabbanan argue and only 7 gates to the Beis HaMikdash. Bazar. That's Rabbanan Hechan. So according to Rabbanan, where do they bow? how? Like we learned, Yid Gimel Pirtzais Hayubai Shapirtzam, the 13 breaches that they breached Malchus Yavon, V'chaz V'gadu B'nei Chashmonai. So those breaches is where they bound. Now those breaches were not in actual walls, but rather there was an area, a lattice work fence that was built around the Beis Hamikdash, and that is where those breaches were. We'll show a picture of that in a moment. V'gazu connected Yud Gimel Ishtach Havayas Ksev Hayu B'Yom Hahu Yatamayim Chaim Yushalayim V'Goymer Tanim Beis. I'm sorry, V'gazu connected Yud Gimel Shachavaya is period. Before we get to the pasuk, let's just see over here. This is a picture, as you can see, this is courtesy of articles. Again, the depiction of all the different gates and the line, this letter C, that's going all the way around on the outer edge. Those are the 13 breaches that were breached in the wall that they bowed, according to the Rabbanan. Says the Gemara Ksiv, it says in the pasuk. This is now going into that water, that trickle of water that went under the Shar by the Nisach Hamayim, the Shar Hamayim, actually, that's what it was called, where they were machlis the sluches. So it says in the pasuk, on that day, there's going to be fresh water, a fresh spring that's going to come from Yerushalayim. Tani, we learned it's talking about La'asad Lavai, the third base of Migdash, Mir Hashem. Mi base Kael the Shakadoshim ad Pareichas, from the Kodesh Hakadoshim until the Pareichas, Ki Karnei Seli Vichli. So first it started, it's a little trickle of water going from the Kodesh Hakadoshim all the way, like the horns of these little creatures, to the door of the Pareichas. Min Pareichas on Mizbeach, until the Mizbeach Hazav, it's to be kind of Chagavim, it's to be a little bit wider, like the width of a grasshopper. Mizbeach Hazav Hazaris, till the Hazaris, Gechot Shel Shasi, the width of the Shasi, the warp of the loom, and Hazaris on Mifta, Mibis Choti Shel Erev, of the weave. Mechan Ve'ilach, from there and have Kemape Hapach, then it's going to be like the opening of a flask. So again, the water is growing as it goes. The stream going from the Kodesh Hakadoshim all the way out of the Beis Hamikdash is growing and growing. Ksev, as it says, for the right side. When the man left to the east, where did he leave with? He had a kav, a measuring stick in his hand. And he measured 1,000 amos, and he traversed waters, may afosim, ankle water ad karsula, that the first 1,000 amos, the water went up to their ankles. Vayamad, then he kept on measuring. Elef, the next 1,000 amos, went up to his knees, ad berkeo, to his knees. Vayamad, and he measured Elef, 1,000 amos, went up to his loins. And masnaya, Mika's waist, Mikan ve'ilach, Vayamad Elef nachla shalo yuchal lavar. Then the next 1,000 amos was water so deep, they were not able to pass. Afilu libirin, even the tremendous ships, Gedel, the large ones, cannot pass by the 4,000 amma as the stream is growing and growing. My time of it say adir lo yavirenu, that it's not going to be able to pass, as the pasuk at the time, what's the reason? Because the water increased, the waters of shachu. What shachu? Milashot, from swimming. That the water is going to grow and grow and grow. At that point, you're not going to be able to swim anymore in the water. And now a few more rayas to this final idea. Amar Rav Huna or Amar Rav Huna ba'asrin garu l'shayata shchuna. They call shayata shchuna, referring to swimming. Upeir shayata b'kirbu kasher. The pasuk continues that he'll stretch out his hands like a swimmer stretches out his hand. What does it mean? From the water, the mitalmin ba'alma, the miyayin, the mitalmin ba'alma. It's the word that everyone's going to talk about. Everyone's going to be talking about the tremendous stream. From that day, it's going to be from the opening, from the base David, the house of David, all the way to Shalayim. The pasuk concludes Lachatos Ulanida. Again, we're talking about the same stream of water. Now we're all the way to Shalayim, and it's now a stream. It's now a raging river almost. And it says Lachatos Ulanida. Explains the Gemara of Shmuel bar Nachman b'Shem Rav Nasan Yerin San mi Beis David v'Yishu Shalayim, from the Beis Hamikdash until those who live in Shalayim. Kshirim Lanido Lachatos have the din of a fresh spring, which is allowed to be used as tefillah for immersion of both a nida and someone who needs a Thomas Shama for the Karmel Chatas. Mikan ve'ilach meita roives. After we reach Yerushalayim, then has the status of mixed waters, which is im kshirim lenido psula mechatas, which is like the status of rainwater, which is a kosher mikvah, but it doesn't have a din d'oraisa of a mikvah, which can be used for mechatas. Amar Rav Elazar or Rameir Aimer, Mibis David about Yishu Shlayim Kashem the Nidal Chatas. He argues and he says no, the entire time had the din of a kasha mikvah could be used for both Mikan ve'ilach me mikat refois. From that point and onward, it had the din of the waters of the slope saying, which is psulin nida chatos, which is puzzle for nida and for chatos. Says the Gemara, back into this spring, this pasuk in Yecheskel depicting Lasa Lavai, all the rivers and the oceans that are going to surround Yerushalayim. Kesiv, it says in the Torah, V'yimei Elayim Hayim. And he said to me, these waters, they're going to go out to the eastern Galil, this is the Samchu river. And they're going to go westwards, the Yam Shel Tvaria, that's the Tvarian River. Ubo Hema, Zeu Yam HaMelech, first the Yam HaMelech, Elayama, Moitzaim, Zeu Yam HaGadol. V'lamanikar Shemai, Moitzaim, why is it called Moitzaim? Keneged Shtei Ba'am Shiyasa Echad, the two times that the Yam HaGadol overflowed its banks, Echad B'dar Enosh, V'echad B'dar Aflaga, once the Dar Enosh and one during the Dar of the Aflaga. Rabbi Lezer, V'shem Rav Chanina, B'Rishena Yatsa Ad Kalarbria, the first time when it overflowed in the times of Enosh, it reached all the way to a place called Calabria, Ubishania, Yotza ad Kipe Barbaria. And the second time it went until the Barbaria edges of it. Ravacha b'shem Rav Chanina b'Rishani Yotza ad Kipe Barbaria, Ushnia Yotza ad Akoi. Vad Yafai, the second time went all the way to Akoi and Yafai, ad Pai, Savai, it says in the Torah, V'loi Saisif, ad Akoi Tavai, V'loi Saisif, and it's no longer going to increase. Excuse me. Okay. One more time. The pasuk continues. That from here the waves are going to be tremendous. Ad Yafai Oshes Ga'oin Galecha, the majesty of the waves. Says I understand that the pasuk like this spring that again went all the way from the Kodesh HaKadoshim and grew and grew and grew and grew. I understand that it's going to reach to the Yama Rabbah, to the Yama Gadol, to the Yama Demilcha, and to the Yama Melech. However, says the Gemara, Bishvil Mitzkan Yama de Tiverio. You know what the reason is? Bishvil Mitzkan, in order that it should make sweet the waters of the Yama Gadol and the Yama Melech. Incredible Yama Melech, all that salt, also the Yama is going to become sweet. Fascinating. Yamad Tiveria, Yamad Samchul Rabbis. The Ganim, you know why you got to reach Tiveria, so that the water should be filled with fish. Lamina Tia Digasam, Lamina Minim Tia Digasam. There can be so many fish in the Tiverian waters. Lasid Lavai. Tani, we learned in a rice. More than 300 types of fish in one dish. The fabulous array of fish that they had. Continuing the theme on the waters quoted in the Yecheskel Parak Mem Zayin. It says that the waters are going to come sweet, and then it says in the swamps and the pools and it's not going to become sweet. Rather it's going to be salty. Ask Gemara. What's going on? Is it either sweet or not? Answers the Gemara. The pasuk means there was a place called Lo Yirpa'u. That's going to be the place that's going to be filled with salt. It says in the pasuk that the stream is going to go up onto its bank. That all the types of the food trees are going to go up on it. And the fruit's not going to give out anymore, but rather all the months. It's going to ripen in the months. And we're going to see what that means. One of the miracles of Lasa Lavai. Today we learned to the Bryce nowadays to a crop is every 6 months, and a tree takes 12 months to grow. However, in 1 month, the grain is going to grow, and the trees will grow in 2 months. My time, says by the months is going to be a new crop. crop. Says Rav Yehuda, means the grains will be every month and trees will be every 2 months. Amar Rav Yosi, no. If you join them as that, he argues nowadays crops take 6 months. Says Rav Yosi, times of Mashiach, the grain will take 15 days, and the grains are going to grow in 1 month. In the times of Yoel, it's like 15 days for them to make the crop. The Kerev Mimenu Oimer, and that's where they ought to bring the carbon Oimer after 15 days. My timer. Where do we see this possible? By oil b'nei Tzion Gila v'simcha b'Hashem Elokechem kinos lechem es hamoira l'tzedakah. It gave them the rain for charity. V'yoyer lechem geshem moira malkush. The early rain and the late rain b'rishon. It gave them all the different rains. Umam mekayim Rav Yosi l'chadash of yivaker. So what does Rav Yosi do with the pasuk that says l'chadash of yivaker? B'chol v'chodesh yem mivacher. Rav Yosi learned that each and every month is going to be a new crop. Meaning it's every 15 days. Each month is a new crop. And the pasuk continues that the leaves are going to be for healing. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Tarpeu mitzitz alel. Rabbi Yochanan says that they're going to suck the leaves, and that's going to be food itself. And the pasuk continues that for tarif, that is going to be food. I mean, it's going to be food. That's what we learn from the pasuk about these leaves. That's Rav Yochanan. But Rav Shmuel, one says that what it's going to do is going to open up the upper mouth. It's going to open up the lower mouth. Obviously, one referring to the bowels. One referring to one's upper mouth, the appetite that he's going to have. Rav Chanina, Rav Shimon Levi, Chanamar, Latapai Yikaros, and have mamish miraculous powers to make someone barren able to have children. Chanamar Latapai Alamim, so does a deaf mute be able to talk. And after that lengthy discussion, now we get back to the Mishnah, to the different gates in the Beis HaMikdash. Ulumasan b'asafain, and we said at the southern gate, says the Gemara, At Maisi b'shasha ala Nebuchadnezzar lekan, that we find that when Nebuchadnezzar came up to Eretz Yisrael, he sat and he stationed himself by the place called Antochia about Sanhedrin Gedolei Krasli. The Sanhedrin Gedolei went out to greet Nebuchadnezzar. V'amru lo, Yigi Zman Habayis. Hazeli Chara, they asked Nebuchadnezzar, are you coming to destroy? Amalem Ha'isa Shamlachta Alechem Tenu Ali. That person who I gave as a governor over you, give him back to me, but no, I'm going to leave. V'amru say went to Yachan Melch Yehuda. So the Sanhedrin went to Yachan and they said, Nebuchadnezzar Ba'ilacha. Nebuchadnezzar wants you. Kiv Sheshama Mehan. Kach, when Yochanan heard this, the king, not the Maftecha Shal Beis HaMikdash, took the keys of the Beis HaMikdash. Oh, Loli Gaga, he went to the roof of the Beis HaMikdash. In the past, we were believed by you, and your king, the keys were in our hands. You don't trust us anymore. You're destroying your house. Here are your keys, God. Train Amoraim. What exactly to do with the keys? He threw out the keys. And they never came down. The second shot is there was like a hand that came out of heaven and took the keys out of his hand. We turn over to Yedzayim and Beis. The nobles of Yehuda saw that he threw up the keys, they didn't come down, or they saw that a figure of a hand took the keys. Cain, all the Rosh Kagosei, they went up to the roofs and so they jumped and they died. That's the meaning of the pasuk that says Masa Gei Chizayon, a prophecy about the valley. Malacha Ephoi, what has happened to you? Ki Alisa Kulcha Lekagois went up to your roof. Teshuais Mala Ir Haimiyah. The city used to be full of commotion, etc. But now it's full of all the dead after everyone jumped off the roofs to their death, and that is the end. Unfortunately, that was the Churban Bayis. Says the Mishnah, Halacha Gimel, in the 6th parak. Yod Gimel Shulchanais Eivim Mikdash. There were 13 Shulchanais in the Mikdash. Ches Shel Shayish Beis HaMitbachayim. 8 marble tables for the butchers. Shalei Madichnes Kravayim. They would wash the innards of the karbanos to Beis Ma'ayir and 2 in the west. HaKeves Echad Shel Shayish, 1 of marble. V'Chashel Kesef, and 1 of silver. Al Shel Shayish, they said they put the limbs. V'Ashal Kesef Kli Sharis, they put all the different vessels. Ubeis Ba'ulam Mi Bifnim, and the inside Al Pesach Habayis, that the opening Echad Shel Shayish, Echad Shel Zav. Al Shel Shayish, there's lechem upon him. The marble table, they put lechem upon him. V'Kni Sasav Al Shel Zav, it's Yasei when they left. Shemaylim B'Kodesh Lamrid, we always had to go up, so they went from marble to gold. Echad Shel Zav Mi Bifnim Shalav lechem upon him. Tommy, they always had the lechem upon him. Says the Gemara, Tani al shel kesef. A brisa seemingly learned that the lechem upon him was put on silver, not on marble. And says the Gemara, Rav Yosef b'shem Rav Shmuel bar Rav Yitzchak Rav Chanina matuba b'shem Rav Yechanan. But let's catch al kesef neishu martiach. No, we don't want silver. Silver gets hot, and if you put the hot bread on a silver table, it's going to make it spoil. Ask the Gemara 1 second. Loichay Tani, he said, did we not one time learn Echad min Anisa, one of the miracles the Beis Hamikdash was, and asked the Beis Hamikdash Kishem Shayim Anichin Oisai Cham Karchayim Maitzin Osei Cham, that the bread stayed hot. They brought it there hot, and they remained hot. Shenamar Losam Lachem Cham Bayom Hilach Choy. Answers the Gemara of Shuban Levi Amar Ein Mazkir and Maisin Nisin. That we do not rely on miracles. It's true that's what happened, but they would not put it on the table, which would potentially make them rely on an ace in order for that to happen. Says the Gemara, Ba'un, in Ma'aseh Nisim. Ba'un Kumi Reb Levi Ila. So Rabbi Levi or Rabbi Ela asked as follows: Let's say they didn't have any lechem upon him. What would they do? Would they leave the old week's bread for the next week? It says in the put any lechem upon him. Lechem upon him. Even puzzle lechem upon him. We always want there to be something. So yeah, they will leave it there. Says the Gemara. There were 10 shulchanos. We know famous the menorahs that Shlomo Melech made. Now we learn about the shulchanos. There were 10 shulchanos that Shlomo Melech made. The Chsev Yah shulchanos asara. Vayanech behechol. Chamisha b'yibin, chamisha b'small. 5 and 5. Ein taimar. Don't tell me chamisha b'darim v'hi b'tzafayin. 5 in the south, 5 in the north. V'alein shulchan kashel b'tzafayin. Shneimar the pasuk says v'shulchan titin al salasafayin. So ma'atam leimer chamisha b'yimin, chamisha b'small. Ella chamisha b'yimin shulchan. There was one real shulchan that Moshe Rabbeinu made, and Shlomo Melech put 5 on one side. Shal Moshe v'chamisha mismolei of Moshe. Afal bikin, even though there were so many shulchanos, le'yom misader ella b'shal Moshe. They only use the shulchan of Moshe Rabbeinu bilvad. Remember the pasuk says the shulchan shalom dachem haponim, and we conclude Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda Omer al kulana misader. No, he argues that in all the shulchanos so much bread, 10 or 11 times 12, 122 loaves. As the shulchanos v'aleim lechem haponim, all of them had the lechem haponim, and we'll pick up from here tomorrow.